In this episode, we look at my top 3 favorite productivity tools right now. Get excited because this is Tiny Leaps. Big change. Big change. Welcome to another episode of Tiny Leaps. Big changes, where I share simple strategies you can use to get more out of your life. My name is Greg Clunis, and in this episode, we are looking at my top 3 favorite productivity tools. Now, these tools are valuable in your personal life if you are trying to make a change, if you're trying to improve some area of your life, if you're trying to just sort of be more productive and more focused on a day-to-day basis, but they're also valuable in your career. So if you are struggling to focus or be more productive at work, then these tools should help out as well. And one of the big things that I'm excited about with this episode is that the tools that you use each day, that's not going to solve the problem. Ultimately, a tool is just a tool. It's about the user and the mindset that they have when they use that tool. That's ultimately what solves the problem. But better tools, when used properly, does produce better results. So if you've been struggling with productivity and you're struggling to stop procrastinating and you're struggling with your focus on a day-to-day basis, then perhaps having some of the best tools out there, which I'm about to share, might help you in sticking to the things that you already know you should do, because you already have the knowledge, you already know what's going on and why you're procrastinating. At least if you listen to this show, you should, because I talk about it all the time. So you already have that info. Now it's just a question of having the right resources to push you forward. Now, before we jump into today's list, let's talk about today's sponsor. Here's a fun fact. Lion's mane mushrooms have long been used by Buddhist monks to help with focus during meditation. Well, the team over at Four Sigmatic had the brilliant idea to take these mushrooms and combine them with 100% organic Arabica coffee beans. It has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 0 calories. It's organic, vegan, paleo, sugar-free, and dairy-free. And the absolute best part, it leaves you feeling awesome. Seriously, I've had this coffee basically every day since I've gotten it. It's become a critical part of my afternoon coffee routine, and it leaves you feeling natural. There's this like buzz that comes from it that doesn't feel like it's overbearing or too much the way that regular coffee does. It's just this like natural, focused, in control energy. And it even comes in these really easy to use packets that you can bring with you anywhere. Just heat up some water, rip open a packet, pour, mix, and you're good to go. Now, of course, we have a special offer just for Tiny Leaps Big Changes listeners. Receive 15% off your Four Sigmatic order. Just head over to foursigmatic.com/tinyleaps or enter the code TINYLEAPS at checkout. That's Four Sigmatic, FOURSIGMATIC.com. foursigmatic.com/tinyleaps to receive 15% off your order. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is Evernote. Now, I've talked about this in the past. It has consistently been on my list of top productivity, top organizational tools. And if you're not familiar, Evernote is a very basic note-taking platform. You essentially just organize your notes into notebooks and you can keep track of everything. But why do I love it so much? Well, one is its cloud integration, so you can access it from everywhere. I can access my Evernote on my phone, my tablet, my computer, anywhere I am. Even if I don't have my own systems, I can access my notes. Now, that's super important to me. Another big thing, thanks to the way that they've structured their online access, is that you can take notes offline. Now, I've had this happen, especially when I lived in New York City, where I was in the subway. I had an idea for something. I wanted to jot down something, and I could just pull up an Evernote and make the notes, even if I didn't have service. And then once I did reconnect, it would automatically push that to the server so that the notes are saved wherever they need to be saved. But it does save a local copy on your phone or your computer or wherever it is that you're using it offline. Now, you know I'm a big fan of note-taking and making lists, and Evernote makes this incredibly easy to do. It allows you to very quickly jot down ideas. It allows you to expand on those ideas, turn them into something that maybe just has a little bit of a better form to it, something that other people can look at. It allows you to share links with people so that they can see what you have put together and use that for whatever way you want them to. It also allows you to create checklists. So I tend to do my grocery lists on Evernote as well. It allows you to see the history of all of the changes you've made to a document. So over time, you can see what's changed and when. If you make an error, you can revert back to a previous version. And thanks to the way that they organize your notes into notebooks, it allows you to separate your different ideas and different things into categories. So you can actually start a journal inside of Evernote. You can start a daily journal. You can start a meditation journal if you would like. You can write your book on Evernote, which for my first book actually did a lot of that, where Evernote was the thing that was handy. It was the easiest for me to get to from my phone, and I would have an idea for something and I would jot it out and then later go and clean it up and transfer it to the full document. So Evernote is a phenomenal tool. It is free. They do have premium options, but I've been using it for years and I've never paid for them. So it does have a lot of options available to you in the free plan. And if you're looking for a better note-taking tool, something to just very quickly jot ideas down and get them out of your head so that you can get back to focusing and being productive, then I highly recommend trying out Evernote. Now, the next one we're going to look at is some kind of organizational or project management tool. And for this, there's three that I recommend: Trello, Notion.com, or Monday.com. Now, Trello is an interesting one. It's sort of the originator of what's called the Kanban, I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the Kanban style of project management, where you have cards on boards and you can move the cards over based on its status, right? So I started using Trello a few years ago. I love their interface. I love you can color code your cards based on different projects or teams. You can assign things to people, and it just makes it very easy to keep track of everything that's going on. Plus, Trello has a unique system of essentially adding apps. I believe they're called power-ups to your boards, which can give you additional integrations, things like calendar management or spreadsheet management or whatever it is that you're looking for. So they do have a really good system set up for Trello to help you plan things like your next vacation, or if you have weekly chores with your partner or your spouse, or if you are dealing with like a chore chart for your kids. Whatever it is that you are working through, Trello can usually help you find a way to organize it. And that can also be said for Notion.com. So Notion.com is one that I started using recently, about maybe 6 or 7 months ago now. And I do really believe that it is one of the most powerful free organizational tools out there. Multiple times I've found myself thinking, oh, if only this could, and then all of a sudden it's able to do it. So they've really built a very open-ended approach to project management, where you can both take notes similar to Evernote, and you can manage everything in a Kanban style like Trello, or you can manage it in a spreadsheet style, or in a more sort of project-centric style. It also has built-in integrations with things like calendar views and team management. So Notion is not necessarily better than Trello, but depending on how your brain works, it can offer a lot more features that might help you to take the ideas out of your head and put them into something that the world can understand, if that is your goal. So I recommend trying out both of these and seeing what works best for you. And then the third one we want to talk about is Monday.com. Now, Monday I started using in the last month and a half, and I use this exclusively for my business. So I used to run my business through Notion.com. I recently moved it over to Monday.com. The reason for this, so Monday has a very unique approach to their project management, in my opinion. It's sort of spreadsheet based, but it's more like columns. And each column has its own sort of degree of features. You can upgrade your board and figure out what you want to add. You can link things to other boards. The reason I made the switch was because it allows me to categorize all of my different cards, which allows me to very easily track things like sponsors for episodes or release dates or which categories episodes fall under, which can then help me to make decisions in the future. So I'm a big fan of Monday.com for the business and for tracking projects related to the business. But still, for my personal life, I still use Notion.com. So I recommend trying out all three of these. You've got Trello.com, which is very good for a card Kanban style approach to project management, both for your personal life. I've seen plenty of people do like vacation plans and budget plans and so on and so forth through Trello, and in your professional life. You've got Notion.com, which is a little bit more open-ended. They give you a lot more freedom, but that also makes it a little bit harder to figure things out. But if your brain works in a particular way, Notion might be the way for you to go. And then you've got Monday.com, which I recommend if you are building a business, if you are doing something that requires a little bit of organization across teams. If your company doesn't already have some kind of project management, say an Asana or Trello or something like that, then using Monday.com might help as well. I hope this was helpful to you. These are currently my top 3 favorite productivity tools. If you like this episode, drop a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening to the audio, head over to YouTube at youtube.com/Greg Clunis and drop a comment on the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to engage with you. And with all of that said, I've been Greg Clunis. Thank you so much for listening. And remember that all big changes come from the tiny leaps you take every day.